legends, welcome back to the Mason Cox Show. It is season 2. Season 2, we've got through season 1, and we are in a brand new year. It is 2023, and we are excited, absolutely stoked to start out the second season. We've got so much going on. We've got iHeart that's jumped on board. They've seen some value in us. I'm not really sure where, but we've got so much happening. It's insane, but we're going to have a massive, massive season launch today, and we're going to talk about things from what we've been up to. Obviously, it's been a while since we've been back on the pod, but there's apparently UFOs rolling around in America. There's gym selfies, sports. We got the Superbowl, Peterbowl, Footy around the corner. Oh, it's all happening. The infamous update on the dating life. Now, I know everyone's been asking. Brayden has been on a few dates, and we need to get an update. We are absolutely desperate for it. But without further ado, I will introduce the man, the myth, the legend that is Brayden Cocks. Welcome.
How good is it to be back? Just sitting on the bench for a while, just waiting for the return, patiently waiting for your call, sitting by the phone. But no, it's very good to be back. So what have you been doing over the break?
Geez, you're waiting for a call because it's an international call, and those get pretty expensive, Brayden. I've been fishing. I've been fishing at Groote Island, New Zealand. I actually had New Year's over there, and it's very interesting in a very small town and called Oakity Falls. And I had a little friend from university I was over there with, and then I've been doing a bit of community camp, traveling Australia, giving back. We've had a little side gigs on the side. You know, we're starting up this little thing for helping Americans understand what IFL is, which is going to come out soon. And yeah, just a lot happening. Obviously, footy's around the corner, so that's been a massive part of the moment too. But lots going on. We're 2023. It's our year. It's our year. I'm telling you. I've been saying it for about 15 years, but I think this year is our year. I'm telling you,
we got to have a year. We got to have 1 year. One of the years has to be ours.
Just right? One. I think we've got a bit to make up for from about 2020 to 2022. So we're gonna smash it this year. It's gonna be amazing. But what have you been up to, mate? What have you been up to?
Primarily work, which I don't mind. Got the business humming. One thing I didn't notice, I just got back from a work trip to Perth where I went to the UFC and
you went to a different country. Far out. There you go.
It was as action packed over there as you could imagine Perth is. I was actually staying in the CBD, and I didn't know that was just not a lot going on in the CBD of Perth.
We do love Perth people. We're not going to hang on too much crap on them.
No, but while I was over there, I didn't realize this, but it's been 1 year of podcasting for me. So
congratulations.
Thank you very much. One year. So yeah, as we all know, I kind of built the van and it just sat there for 2 years while I panicked.
The world panicked. Oh, panicked so much it was pandemic.
Well, I always thought that I could sleep in the van if it all went to shit. But 1 year, 180 podcasts I calculated that I did in year one, which is about one every 2 or so days. So,
geez, how many hours do you think that adds up to?
Oh my God.
Entirely too many.
Yeah, a lot of hours, but that was a pretty proud moment.
We're going to, so this year, obviously season 2, we're just so excited. I don't even put it into words. I'm like fumbling through my words. I'm just so excited for this thing to get kicked off. Now, there's going to be a bit of a different structure and schedule to this, and I think we need to explain exactly how this is going to go. Now, you want to say we're doing double the episodes. We're doubling down. Yeah. We're essentially giving you twice the content for the same price. $0.99.
The
value. And we're doing essentially 2 episodes. So we'll do kind of football, sport in the beginning of the week. And then we'll have what everyone loves. And that is the entertainment of 2 guys that know absolutely nothing about pop culture, talking about pop culture. And everything that has to do with the dating life and everything along that. But it is going to be split into 2 episodes. It's going to be a little bit more bite-sized, a little like, the 30 to 45 minute range where, you might be able to get that, going to work in the morning or coming home from work in the afternoon. I think that will help people out because a lot of people you get to an hour and a half, which this episode might actually be because this is the big season launch. So get stuffed, get used to it. There's a lot to cover. We've been gone for a few months. But yeah, I think that's how we're going to go from here on out. And then obviously we'll have the interviews still jumped in there. It'll be bonus episodes we'll throw in here and there. So I think it's a good setup.
The value. I think the best part is that we'll be able to flesh out more of both. So at the moment we kind of rush through entertainment and don't give everyone the full explanation.
Well, you have to have our Bennifer news. Yeah. I have to deep dive into Bennifer. It's not okay just to cover it very briefly.
Deep dive into that, deep dive into sport, cover more goss. yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Like I said, we've partnered with iHeartRadio, so you're going to have to add one of the other platforms on there. I think we're up to about 8 or 9 now. So if you'll follow us, like, subscribe on all the 8 platforms and 9 platforms that we're on.
That's another episode.
That's seriously just laboring all the things we're on. But check us out, every single social media thing, subscribe so you can get all the different things. So if we do have a bonus episode come out or anything like that, you'll get the little ding, you'll get the bell, and you'll know to be able to listen to something special. Something very special.
So should we jump into this episode or?
Let's do it. Let's get straight into it.
And where else would we start? The Chinese
China, as old Trumpy would say.
So let me give you a breakdown. So we're covering all the news that you may have missed while we've been away because where else would you get news? No one's doing it like we're doing it. Chinese spy balloon, it's been cruising over the US. US come out, big missile, shoot it down. Hoo-ha, America.
Love shooting things.
USA. USA.
USA.
Since then, right, they've lowered the tolerance on all their kind of radar systems to
shoot more things.
Yeah, to pick up
to use their guns more.
Yeah, to pick up everything that kind of falls into the balloon category. So the problem with that is that you get a hell of a lot more balloons. Originally, people speculated that the US were kind of shooting down UFOs, we're getting aliens, we're getting all this cool stuff.
UFOs are real, Brayden.
Yeah, it doesn't really turn out like that. So I've got a bit of a grab. We'll let the experts explain it.
The theory is now that, in fact, these were not any sort of intelligence gathering mechanism or device or balloon, that the 3 objects shot down, that we're not talking about the big balloon, but the 3 most recently could have been commercial or maybe even a university type of weather balloon or something of that nature.
So they're using their $800 billion military budget to shoot down university weather balloons.
I'm just thinking of like a 5th grader science project that's gone into the air and just sees like a massive missile come out of nowhere and just like absolutely demolishes it.
It was cool. Like the broad daylight, everyone's just watching
everyone could see it. It was insane for days.
The missile just drilled this balloon, but like, I don't know. This $800 billion budget just used to shoot balloons out of the sky. Could you be using this money better? There's so many things in the States that's going underfunded. What do you think you could spend this money on?
I don't know if this is like maybe the budget that the Space Force was given. They haven't really used it for anything. So now they're like, we'll just shoot down stuff in the sky. It's just floating over America. And also, if there is UFOs, why is it's only in America? Like the rest of the world hasn't seen anything?
That's a stat that I just saw lately was 95% of UFO sightings have happened in America. So
I just don't get it. I mean, are we the only country that people really want to spy on? I feel like we're a pretty public country.
Like they released the files during Trump's presidency that was like,
is that the ones he found on his night table next to him? He just forgot to actually tell everyone he had, like, oh yeah, sorry, I took those classified documents home.
There's like actually a fair few like UFO sightings that proper, military people can't explain.
Yes.
So it is, I don't know, it's kind of cool. If you're into this kind of conspiracy theory type thing, or if you're into aliens and UFOs, you've got a lot more content and a lot more stuff to kind of base it off now.
We're just bagging at the US. And this man has taken over, I think, Trump for idiocy.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. You talk about lies. George Santos, he's an American politician who's the US representative for New York's 3rd congressional district. So, he's a Republican from New York, but he's quickly been known for his lies. And they're lies that, they're just lies for the sake of lies. I've got a list of his lies here. Let me go through a few.
So let's go.
So they start pretty low and they just get
pretty innocent.
Yeah, they just get weirder and weirder. So he lied about where he went to high school and that he graduated college.
He hasn't graduated college and he's like a senator in the US?
He's street smart.
Street smart. I think there's got to be some kind of qualification, surely, to be in government.
He said that he was a star college volleyball player. I don't know why you'd lie about that.
Volleyball, too. Interesting sport to choose.
It gets really weird. He said that he started an animal rescue charity, which is partially true, but swindled a disabled veteran out of money trying to save his dying dog. So he started essentially a GoFundMe in the name of this veteran to raise money for his dying dog, and then just didn't spend the money on that.
That's absurd.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. Let's go to the list. What we got?
He said he lost employees in the Pulse nightclub shooting, which is tragic, but not true. He said that his mother died in 9/11. So he's from New York. He's representing New York, and he said his mother died in 9/11, which is not true.
There's factual ways to check these things nowadays. Like, I don't understand
100%.
how you come out and say these things publicly and then not think that someone's going to go look it up.
Yeah. A drag queen kind of ratted him out and said that he's a pretty prominent drag queen, which he disputes that claim. He says that he's not a drag queen, but there's so many photos of him out there in drag.
Wow, I love this.
Which is great.
Just might possibly be a compulsive liar in government. Great combo.
So they were some fun ones. So now, he claimed to be Jewish, right?
Oh gosh.
But the problem was, he's not Jewish. But he cleared this up in an interview, so it was fine.
This would be good.
I always joke I'm Jew-ish.
He's not Jewish.
He separated the word to try to cover for it. I think that's actually worse to do that now.
Yeah, well, it's insinuating that he has Jewish traits, which is like just anti-Semitic, racist kind of vibe about it. But so it gets darker. So he claimed to be Jewish, and he was really proud of his grandparents' heritage, going through the Holocaust. And
my grandfather fleeing Ukraine, fleeing Stalin's persecution, going to Belgium, finding refuge there, marrying my grandmother, then fleeing Hitler, going to Brazil. That's a story of perseverance.
It's a story that may not be true.
So, yeah.
You can't lie about those things. Like, that is, that's just like, that's cancel. Like cancel culture, right? Like, that's okay. There's some things I'm like, this is phenomenal, but this we just need to cancel. We should have canceled about 7 different things up that list that you talked about, but this guy's still in government?
Like, why is it politicians? We should surely be holding these people to the highest account.
It used to be a thing where you wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or a fireman or woman. Like, now the president thing's just gone out the window. Since Trump got voted in, who had zero political experience whatsoever, it's just gone, okay, it's the Wild West. Now we realize that literally anyone that walks off the street can now be part of government. And we have zero kind of understanding of what you actually need to be a politician.
I think if you just don't agree with the claims, say they're all made up, and just never apologize, nothing can stick.
People move on so quickly from these things.
Yeah, we got to move on because I'm that keen to find out what has happened to J-Lo and Ben Affleck.
Oh, Bennifer, as we know him.
They're still together,
Bennifer.
right?
Hey, they're still together. Now, there's question marks for a long time because at the Grammys recently, they were seen on camera right in the background, and they kind of gave one of those little, had a little side conversation, and then they looked very, very upset at something that was said between the two of them. And it started rumors across the globe, Brayden. I'm telling you, across the globe. There were so many memes that started. Ben looked like he just was hating the whole experience of being there. He just stood there J-Lo's dancing to a few songs and stuff that are up there. And then Ben is just standing there deadpan, just nodding his head good Lord, I have to be here for a media stance. I don't want anything to do with it. It's kind of going to the work party.
Yeah.
And you're just
We've all definitely been there. I think, to be fair, though, Ben looks like he hates doing anything.
Yes, he hates everything, it looks like. He's got resting bitch face, is essentially what it is.
Oh, every time you see a photo of him, he's holding the garbage at the door, having a cigarette, or drinking, 1 liter of coffee or something. He just, he's just getting through.
It's tough, but, we're all for Bennifer because he's got the greatest combined name, I think, ever, right? So that Brangelina was obviously for a while, but I think Bennifer's now taken over that, and they're even, Bennifer 2.0, we're all for it. And I'm so all for it that recently I read something about them. Now they got matching tattoos for Valentine's Day. I think it's very cute if you're going to be together forever. Now,
well, that's the plan.
Hypothetically, celebrities don't really have the best rap sheet whenever it comes to that. And
no, but they've been on and off forever. They've been. It's about the journey,
not the destination. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, it's about the journey with them. Who knows where they're going to end up?
Yeah. Now, I've got to tell this story because this is a story from back in college where one of my teammates...
Wait, show me this tattoo.
No, I don't have... I'm clean. I'm one of the only few footy players in the world that's actually clean of tattoos. But I had a teammate of mine, and this is a true story. I think he was engaged to a female, and he got her name written on his on the underside of his wrist.
Yeah.
And bold, like it was big, right? And he had a lot of tattoos. And obviously things didn't go so well. They broke up. So in order to fix this, he thought, it's going to cost too much to remove this tattoo. So the best way to deal with this was to get, and you can think of this, right? The void stamp that's like in red whenever you.
Oh my God.
He put the void stamp tattooed over her name. And to this day, he still has that tattoo on his wrist.
There's got to be plenty of those stories out there. So if you got a shocking tattoo, send us an image and we'll upload it.
A shocking tattoo would be great.
Oh, I love all this stuff. We got to see more of this stuff. If you guys can laugh at our terrible dating lives, like we get to laugh at yours because that's only fair.
We're a community. We're in it with you guys, guys and gals. We want every story out there of a terrible tattoo you've gotten Bali.
Yeah, I feel like the girls have way worse stories about guys. Guys are, I don't know, we're not great, but yeah, send us in your stories.
You're big on the TikTok, Brayden. Now you love the TikTok. Now I'm trying to get into TikTok. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to post more on there. Just so you know, keep the fans happy with the content, all about the content. And you've told me about this gym selfies from girls.
So essentially, people go to the gym, they've got like little microphones, they set up their phone and they record themselves doing their workout and they commentate to it. And, it's a type of TikTok, video style. But increasingly, people were getting attention, in particular girls, setting up these cameras and catching guys like glancing at them or offering to help, but it's seen as, harassment. Like, leave me alone. I'm at the gym. And fair enough. Like, girls would have to go through so much shit, especially at the gym. But yeah, it's because it started to get more attention, more and more people started doing it, and it became a stretch. So anytime someone was, when I go to the gym, people watch like crazy because in between sets, there's nothing else to do. 2, people are always doing weird shit at the gym. They're like using the machines wrong or whatever. And it's just fun to look at them and enjoy the fact that you're not there. Like that's the enjoyment I get out of it. But yeah, these girls are putting up videos going, this jerk was looking at me. And normally it's over the top. So this jerk's looking at me, this absolute creep. He's a pervert. He's checking me out. I don't feel safe, blah, blah, blah. But it's almost flipped on its head now. So these people are getting backlash for almost baiting these people into, glancing at them or they'll be struggling with machinery and someone will come over and help. And instead of being appreciative that someone's helping you out because you're struggling, they'll be like, this guy's a creep. He just like, comes over. He won't leave me alone. He's harassing me or whatever. I think all in all, like, I think my take from it is like, don't film at gyms.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, surely, like, if someone brings a camera in on a tripod and sets it up, I'm going to definitely be like, why are they? And if I'm in the background of that video, like, I'm definitely going to be like, why are you filming me? Like, I shouldn't be like, if you sit up in front of me and I'm in the background working out, like, I'm going to be annoyed because I haven't signed a waiver to say like, I'm okay with going up, on a public profile. God knows what's going to be done with it. And it's somewhat ironic for someone to be upset whenever they get attention by setting up a camera to film something in order to get attention, if that makes sense.
1,000,000,000%. Like, why are these people looking at me? I'm just juggling and like,
but they're okay to do it if it's online on a different platform. It's like, what? Isn't this the point of you doing it to get attention? Then you're upset whenever people give you attention in person, and not saying it if it's in the wrong way, like it's in the wrong way. Don't get me wrong, but like, it just seems very ironic. And then people now are trying to bait people in. Like, it's just so weird.
Yeah. And it's not only girls, because we've seen this behavior. So like, often the guys will do pose downs at the end of their workout while they're still going to pump on and stuff. But there's been a couple where they'll film themselves doing like these pose downs in the change rooms, like while people are getting changed. So like,
not okay.
Not okay.
Change rooms are, you can't be filming. There's no phones in the change room. Yeah. Like, I understand everything's convenient now. There's a camera everywhere, but like, that is a sacred place that it is. There's no rule, or there might be a sign or something outside, but there is a known rule. You do not film inside a change room.
All of these things that you want to do, and you don't want the attention that it brings until you upload it to TikTok, get a home gym. This isn't a home gym. It's a public gym. But that was just my thoughts on it. Do you people watch when you're at the gym?
A lot of people watch 24/7.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite like pastimes to do. I'll sit at a cafe by myself on the street, just watch people walk by while I'm having a coffee.
People just do weird shit.
I've got to tell this story about driving. This is a sidebar, but seriously made my month. You know, you just see something on the side of the road, and it's the funniest thing you will ever see in your life. Like I pull up to a stoplight, right? And there's plenty of cars in front of me, plenty of cars behind me. I am next to the Rising Sun Hotel. Now, this place is a staple in Richmond. It is I don't want to talk bad about it, but if you're looking for a dive bar, this place is it's a deep swimming pool to dive into. But I was driving past it, and I kid you not, there's three people sitting there, and then a child, and they're talking to each other, whatever it is, and the stroller's there, and the kid's standing up, and I don't know why. They were next to this planter box, and I'm watching it, and the two parents are having a conversation. The kid's just there. They're not paying attention to the kid. The kid just turns around, sees the planter box, drops his drawers, and just starts pissing on the planter box. Just casually, like he had done it a million times. And I'm the only one. And the kid looks at me, and we make the eye contact. Like, I know what you're doing. You know what you're doing is wrong. And the parents are unaware still at this point. And I started laughing. Like, I couldn't hold it. I started literally like laughing so hard. And the parents heard me laughing, looked at me, realized I was looking at their child pissing on this planter box, and then just looked at the child, just started laughing. And they didn't even tell him to stop. He was midstream, and they're like, go ahead, finish it off, son.
Yeah,
it's
I'm sure
okay.
Once you already started, there's no stopping.
He just started laughing. I was just looking at it. I was like, we've all been there. We've all been there.
We can't get away with that anymore.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess you can if you're under 16. You can just piss wherever you want, but you get in trouble illegally if you're over 16, I guess nowadays. I'm not sure, but it was the funniest thing I saw, I think, all month, and it just absolutely made my day.
Well, lucky they didn't call the police. Let's jump into sport. We've had the Superbowl. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but the Super Bowl, I think I didn't really see much of the game.
No need to.
The Chiefs won, I think, or something.
Yeah.
But Rihanna, halftime show.
Queen.
I think she stole it. It freaked me out. My housemate's scared of heights, and watching her on that thing going up and down, and there's no rails on it, and it's
platform.
Just at times it's shaking and stuff. It's like, that's enough to scare the shit out of you. But to give the performance that she did while pregnant, balancing on that thing, the pregnancy is just like the little piece de resistance on the top.
And she announced it like no one knew. She's been hiding.
So good. The whole thing was so good. Obviously, the biggest meme part of it was that like look that she's given everyone, the smoky eyes.
That and the dancers running in, they all look like just like a million. Yeah,
still
it's like a whole bunch of white blood cells coming to fight an infection. You know. Like
good timing. Yeah, it's relevant. It's just but I was thinking, so there's no way we can compete. There's no way we can compete. They bring it up every year around the Super Bowl time, halftime shows. We should do Twilight. Shut up.
Hold on. Don't you dare disrespect Delta Goodrum's performance at the 2022 Grand Final. I am not okay with you making that comment.
We compete in our own way.
Okay.
See, Delta.
There's Kath and Kim, I think, at some point at the halftime show. I saw some video of that, and believe me, it is not your best moment.
See, work smarter, not harder. That's my thing with this. We just got to get creative about like what are our objectives. If it's to get eyeballs or it's to get noticed, you go with the Kath and Kim. You know, it gets memed, it gets like on social media, it gets out there, attention to it. Meatloaf was actually genius. We've been talking about Meatloaf.
Oh my gosh, yes.
12 years or whatever it is now. That's another one. Work smarter, not harder. But there's got to be some of these things that we can do. If you've got any ideas for our halftime show, just think. Maybe we get a guy out there, how many beers can he drink from siren to siren?
That'd actually be the most entertaining thing for Australians, I feel like, that they would get around.
Yeah, 100%.
Or we just get Bob Hawke just to chug another beer at halftime. I think the whole place go nuts.
Bob Hawke's dead. But
shit.
So that would get a lot of attention. That would
it'd be like Tupac's hologram going back.
First, bring Bob Hawke back to life. Second, get him to beat his record, sculling the yard glass. The numbers, that'll do better than the game. That's one. Put that down. We'll put that in the document. We'll workshop it. That'll be fine.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's bad about me. My bad. All right. Hey, R.I.P. Rest in peace, my bros.
Shout out to Bubble.
Seriously though. All right. Well, talk about crushing beers. The old Waste Management Open has recently gone through, and that is one of the biggest things in golf that happens, right? So it's in Phoenix, right? So you have the Waste Management Open and the Super Bowl in the same weekend. So you can imagine Phoenix Airport was going absolutely bonkers. And Waste Management Open, for those that don't know, it is a PGA Tour event, and PGA Tour is known to be very hoity-toity, kind of like Wimbledon type, tennis feel to it, right? Waste Management, don't give a fuck about that. Waste Management, they are all about the party, and there's this 16th hole. It's a par 3. You get one shot. For those people who don't know what par 3 is, you can get one shot and get onto the green. Pretty short hole. And essentially everyone dresses up in ridiculous outfits. They have the whole you finish a beer and then you put the cup inside another cup. I think we call it wizard sticks back home. I'm not sure what you call it here.
Yeah.
But essentially they have that for all these chaotic people around this hole. And if you hit a hole and run, everyone just chunks beer onto the green, chunks beer onto the course. It's just chaos, absolute chaos, and big fan of it. But there was a streaker this year and he took the show.
See, that's an example. The streaker, he wasn't naked.
Nah.
He was partially naked. But that's an example. That guy was free. And I saw that clip. I don't follow a lot of golf. I think half the world saw that clip. Smarter, not harder. He's out there. He dived into the lake. Police didn't want to bar him.
He swan dove into that lake.
As soon as the police saw him get in the water, they're like, nah, good on you. We're not getting you. So good luck to you. But yeah, he was grinding the flagpole. He was
full stripper pole situation. It was hilarious, and it just was so on brand for that whole tournament and that one hole there. It was just iconicized the whole thing, I think.
Speaking of golf, Tiger Woods back from his horrific car accident. He's
back from everything he's done. He's
everything.
If that man can revamp his career after all the shit he's done. Anyone can. Andrew Tate's got a chance.
Yeah, I think he's got George Santos covered for some of these things. But so his latest controversy, so he outdrove Justin Thomas and decided it would be a funny joke to hand him a tampon.
I don't know how to react to this because the world's it's gone one of two ways, right? We've got people that have thrown a fit because it's saying that women can't drive it as far as men or something like that, I read, and all these kind of things. And then there's the other side of it where it's just two mates having a bit of a laugh. And I can understand both sides. I can. But I think we just let this go.
If you're still okay with Tiger being on the tour, but this offends you, on his tier list of offenses, this is down the bottom.
Tiger's got to the point he's almost untouchable, I feel like, though, because he has done all that and he's back on the tour. And you know what? He's the most followed guy on the tour. He might not be the best on the tour, but I guarantee you he's the most followed person on the tour.
It was a good photo. I thought from a content point of view, it was crisp that they could zoom right in on that bad boy.
That was 10K. Surely had the 10K, that one. I don't know what 10K ends up being, but that was some, they must have had an avatar camera, just the real expensive ones on them.
Actually, I've got a good point now, right? Yeah. So going into our next topic, Peter Bowl.
Yes.
The absolute travesty where his a positive drug test was leaked and it came back. He pled innocence, said, come on, Australia, believe me, I've done nothing wrong to this point. All I can do is ask you to believe me. And then he was vindicated when the second test came back and proved his innocence. But that's an example of that should have everyone in an absolute fit. People, there should be an uproar of people should be held to account for this and stuff like that. But you hear more about the Tiger story. And then when this comes back that his second test was negative, everyone's like, oh, cool, good on him. And it's the damage that's been done to this kid for no reason. One, it should never have been leaked. It was absolutely disgusting and they should be held to account. And they're, trying to backtrack. I think his representation said that, they're trying to cover their tracks for how it ended up getting leaked and how this whole situation came about. But I wish people would put the amount of energy in showing his innocence. It should be on the news, it should be on the paper, it should be everywhere saying, we screwed this person over. The
damage,
the mud sticks of it's his name's associated with it. There's articles that have already been written that are still going to be on the internet about it. The damage that this has done, not only to his reputation, but to his mental state, I'm sure. I can't imagine if anyone out there, this is their whole, career, their passion. their existence to a point in this time. Imagine if it came out and that was going to be tarnished forever based off a mistake that was leaked. And then everyone covered that part. And then when it came out that he's like innocent, it's like, oh, good on him. I'm glad that he was innocent. Yeah, but that's not enough.
No. It's, to me, if I'm him, like, I'd be looking at a defamation lawsuit. Like, no 100%. Doubt. Like, it is absurd. And I don't know what, I guess, like, how it came to be public. We've yet to find those details out. But you can imagine, like, now the money he's going to have lost because of this going out. Like, yeah. And I love Peter Bowl. Like, we've had him on the podcast. You haven't listened to the episodes here, so it's one of the best you'll hear. And he is the most nice, genuine human you will ever meet. Like, he's just so positive and so like loving and so like just amazing in the way he speaks, and he's just so giving. And it's, oh dude, whenever I heard it, I was cut. Like, it was, oh man, I felt so bad. And then whenever it comes out second round that it's not even true, it's like, far out, man. Like, how do you sit there and say that publicly, make the statement that this has happened on a first drug test, and then have to go back on it? And then, like, you get to the point you're like, okay, well, who's going to be responsible for all the damage he did to his image? Who's going to be responsible for all the money he lost out on by doing, whether it be speaking gigs or whatever it is? And, like, you know, who's going to be responsible for all the damage he's done from his mental health? Like, that has to go to the people that do the drug testing to say that, you know, we have to raise our hand and say we stuffed up and we shouldn't have, you know, gone public until we got the B sample.
It's already hard enough, like in athletics, track and field, you don't really get like much money unless you're at the absolute top and get these sponsorships. But yeah, this has made it a hell of a lot harder for a guy that doesn't deserve it and that did nothing wrong. And was not that he just did nothing wrong, that it was leaked and it went to the next level. It was out there. It was covered by everyone. Everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, I hope he gets, I don't know, at least paid for this. And then I'd hope that sponsors get around him off the back of it.
That's seriously, yeah.
Just saying, you know, let's support this guy that was mistreated and nothing of his own doing. So, yeah.
I think anyone that were to meet Peter Bowl, you'd want, and if you were a company and you met him, you instantly be like, I'm signing this guy on.
Yeah.
He is the most amazing human you'll meet.
Sometimes these stories come out and you're like, oh, we'll just have to wait and see and stuff. When I read his statement, it was just, there was no doubt in my mind. I was like, well, he didn't do it. Like, how's this going to work out? So
I have to say this also, though. Thank God that they actually have a plan B. Or sorry, sample B that they tested. Because you imagine like this and you, as an athlete, you feel like you just are absolutely, there's wrongdoing. Yeah. And then you just have to cop the consequences even though it's not true. Like, I guess that's one positive from that example. Like, he at least had the opportunity to show that he was innocent.
Yeah.
And it came through, and thankfully it was, you know, it was negative. But yeah, there's got to be some kind of defamation that he can get some kind of remuneration for, because it is something, unfortunately, now that like he'll have to answer questions about forever because someone screwed up in the lab and it's not true.
Yeah. And that's what someone won't hear the innocent side of it. Someone won't hear the story that it was like, oh, the second one came back negative. So it's just stuff like that it sticks. So yeah, hopefully he gets some kind of payout or some kind of compensation for it. Saying that, I feel like you dodged the race with Peter Bowl across the preseason. I didn't see that eventuate.
Oh, I had some hip injuries, a few other things. Yeah, I think he'd still be keen. Well, also Krugs did his shoulder, who we're gonna do it with. But it's still there, 800 meters. I think we get our absolute ass whooped. But
so moving into footy, where are you at this preseason? Are you all recovered? Because last we spoke to you were recovering from injury that happened at the end of the season. How's the body?
We're all good. Hey, we're, as the kids call it, Gucci. We're Gucci Mane. We're ready to launch. We were ready to launch. It's been a good preseason. We've kind of got the other end of it, and we're now essentially a month away from the actual season starting. So it's all happening very quickly, and we've got a few preseason games coming up. Had an inter-squad last week, which went well. And yeah, it's just taking along. The light is at the end of the tunnel. You know, we're training more, which is nice in a sense of like game stuff rather than just running like back and forth, up and down, just to get in shape, which is a good sign. It's a sign that we're kind of like getting close to the season finally starting, and things are really going to kick off, I think. And I'm excited. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year.
And you just had the intra-club, which is always interesting because, you get to see how existing players are progressing, and then you get to see all the new players that have come into the club. A few forwards in there and tapping down.
The way you look at me like that is like, you're screwed. You pick someone up to take your job.
You're a ruckman. I've been seeing you in clips all week, hitting the ball down to, you hit it down to the opposition. I saw a good one. You hit it to Pendles. Pendles to Nick Dacos. Dacos from like 80 meters. Jeez, Brownlow, lock it in. Hitting it down to Tommy Mitchell, kicking it forward to McStay.
McStay is going to be McGood. That man, he's going to have a good year, I feel like. He's been killing it in training. He's going so well. And he's a really nice guy, too. I think we like the Collingwood faithful, and him being in the media more now here in Melbourne because he's a Melbourne boy. People are going to love him. But there's one guy we've recruited that people will love the most. And the reason I must say, Brayden, is something you will definitely be able to get on board for.
I'm already jealous.
And if anyone looks at the video right now of Brayden, he's got a mustache, and I must tell you, Oleg Markov has got the best mustache I've ever seen in my life.
Oleg's got me covered.
That thing but he's got the twirl on the end, the whole Monopoly Man twirl. If he gets one of those monocle things, that might be his Mad Monday kit. But that man, seriously, he is the biggest character and one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Yeah, he's a funny dude, isn't he?
He's hilarious. And I think the mustache you can't not laugh at what he says whenever he's got that mustache on him.
And he had a bit of a story he was going to Carlton and he was coming back, and he
trained for a month, and then we're like, oh, sorry, we can't take you. We're going to take Oscar. And Oscar, awesome guy too. And he's playing the rock, and he's definitely a skilled and talented person. And then he goes off to Carlton for a day, trains with them because he's essentially, I need to get a contract in the next week because the period ends or whatever it is. And then we unfortunately had a player go into injury reserve for a year in Charlie Dane, and then a spot opened up. So then we called him back and was like, hey, I know we said we don't want you, but do you mind coming back?
And he was like, thank God, Carlton sucks. Get me out of here.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that for the stat sheet. But yeah, no, it was pretty wild. So I can only imagine what was going through his head at that point, where he's gone essentially from Collingwood to the arch rival Carlton, then back to Collingwood. And I kind of thought, I was like, I wonder how much information he's sharing between the two clubs, because he's learned quite a bit, I would say, over those two.
Yeah, well, you don't really need any info for Carlton. They can't make finals, so probably not.
You can't. This is Brayden speaking. I have full respect for Carlton and other teams in the league.
I feel like we can only say that because they're. Maybe, no, I put it out there. They're coming.
I didn't say this at all.
Carlton is coming.
Carlton's going to be good this year.
Oh, they're going to be the best.
They're really good.
They're probably going to win the flag, actually, Carlton. No jinxing them at all. So I also want an update on Bobby Hill. I want to see Bobby Hill play so bad. I saw a clip of him. He does the shimmy left, shimmy right, down on his knees, crawls under the hurdle, picks up the ball, balks one, snaps a goal.
And his top speed is so quick. I think at one point I tried to chase him down. I got about 3 steps in. And I go, this is just a pointless task.
Yeah. It's the takeoff speed. It's just
he is gone. Yeah. Gone before you know it. But he just does those things that you just you feel like you just can't teach, And he's just 100%. A natural ability to him to be able to know goal sense and everything else. And he's going to be an exciting one to look out for too.
Now, unfortunately, he'll probably come into the team now because your teammate, Jack Ginnivan, we've mentioned him a few times on the pod, normally in positive circumstances. Well, positive for us. We think he's a Jet. He's made a mistake and been caught doing an illicit substance while on preseason camp.
Yep.
Have you spoken to him? Have you seen him? Can you give us a bit of an update?
Yeah, well, I guess it happened about a month ago. No one was really in the know until after the intra-club squad match, and then obviously it kind of goes public, and they did the thing with Channel 7 interview and whatnot. And yeah, it's unfortunate. Love Guinea. I love him. He's a good man. No matter what has happened with this, I still believe he's a great person, a great character, and everything else. And it's tough. It's tough to see a teammate struggling. It's tough to see his teammate make those decisions, I think. But we realized that he's now going to have to cop the criticism. He's now going to have to cop the two-game ban I think he's got now, and he's going to have to face the consequences. So I'm happy he owned up to it. I'm happy that he just kind of got on the front foot with it and said, this is something that's happened. This is something that might come out, and I'm here to deal with it. That's something I've given him credit to. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks whenever you have a player like that who is obviously a great player, who's played for the whole team and gone really well. And now he's going to have to miss a few games, and we'll have to find someone to hopefully help replace him for a couple of games. And
from the outside, it was handled about as well as you could handle it. And that's not taking away from any of the seriousness of it, but Jack came out up front, open, honest, transparent, did the interview with Channel 7. Collingwood came out, told everyone what was going on, and the steps forward. So it was handled well from that aspect. I hope it's pretty well publicized that he copped a lot of shit last year for a kid. And kids make mistakes, but obviously, in the space that he is in, he's still going to cop a lot of shit coming off the back of this. So I hope that, he stays in a safe space, and at least when you come up against these things, you got a full footy club's backing, and the guys are behind him.
I think that's the biggest thing is we now just need to wrap our arms around him, educate him a bit on what's going on, and, I guess to make better life decisions, and he'd be well aware of that. But the biggest thing is just to support him. I think whenever these things happen, you feel like the world's on your head, and you feel like you're just kind of stuck under a rock and you can't get out, and everyone asks you about it, and you can't leave the house without someone saying something or giving you a look and things like that. And I think just having that many players there to help him through those things and just say, we're here for, to support you through it. And, hopefully, he can understand what he's done, learn from it, and move on.
I, for one, am super excited to see Bobby Hill in the team. And with all the forwards that are going on up there, I still haven't had a chance to see Dan McStay. So I'm super...
Dan McGood.
Super excited.
He's going to be Dan McGreat, I'm telling you.
Super excited to see how McGood he is.
He's going to be damn McGreat.
A great friend of yours, really close friend, and a big fan of the podcast, LeBron James.
Yes.
Recently broke the all-time scoring record. And there's, I'm sure everyone saw it. There's an iconic photo of him mid jumper throwing up the record-breaking shot, and everyone in the background's got their phone out, filming the moment. Obviously, it would have been the golden ticket to get tickets to that game. Everyone's capturing the moment on their video so they can relive it over and over and over. And Phil Knight, the Nike CEO, sitting in the front row, he's the only one kind of just sitting there enjoying the moment.
How good.
And I think that almost got more attention than the record-breaking shot. Everyone was talking about this photo and how we live in this world where we live through our phones and we look through the cameras and we don't enjoy the moment. I think you tweeted about it. What were your thoughts on the moment?
I loved it. I just look and I think, okay, how many phones were out? 30,000 phones in the arena, wherever it was?
Yeah.
What, you don't think you can find the same angle? In all honesty, if there's a guy to your right or a girl to your left, then chances are you'll be able to find that video. That's pretty similar to where you're sitting. And I just loved it because Phil's obviously, he's very much in the older generation now, and he's probably got to that point where he doesn't really care about getting likes or shares or anything like that. He's uber successful. He gets to enjoy these experiences courtside next to LeBron's kids. He's soaking that moment in for everything that it is. And it was iconic. Now, I do want to break down a few other things in that photo, though, because there was a bit going on. There was an Australian playing, Josh Giddey. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, in that photo, you wouldn't recognize it because he's actually behind another person. So that sucks for Giddey because he was actually on the floor, and he would have been in that iconic photo to show his kids and everything else, be like, I was there playing against him on the night, blah, blah. This is the most iconic photo from the night. And there I am. There's my face. No, it happened to be taken. He's right behind another Lakers player, and he's just not, you wouldn't even know he's there. That's and I was like, oh, that sucks. That first of all sucks. Now, the other part I want to dissect, and this is me in my sporting mind. Now, there was another player from the Lakers, right? So LeBron's 2 points.
Yeah.
He needs to get 2 points to essentially break Kareem's record.
Yeah.
And the whole stadium knows. He's got all his friends from his whole career of coming to town. They're all at the game, a hot ticket in town, whatever it is. You know he's going to break it on the day, right?
Yep.
He's gone there and he's scored a few points beforehand, and everyone knows the ball's going to LeBron. LeBron's going to make a shot. If it goes in, it goes in. He breaks it, and the whole crowd goes nuts. In the photo, if you look in the paint, The Lakers player, deadpan. I'm serious. He is like posting this guy up like he's going to get the ball. And I'm looking at him like, you must be the most moronic person out there on that floor if you think that LeBron's going to pass you the ball. It is not about you today. It is not about you. And he's just, oh, mate, I've got him. I've buried him down to the post. Throw it to me. No chance.
But was the mismatch there?
I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. It could have been
Team first.
It could have been Yao Ming literally playing defense on you, Brayden. And you know what? He wouldn't have gave it to Yao Ming.
Well, it's
Start
like
playing offensively.
Well, he made it. So that kind of like nullified.
Yeah.
But team first. Always team first. Bit selfish, LeBron. Good call, Mace. LeBron James is selfish. The Phil Knight thing, I had a different take.
Did ya?
I think because he's a billionaire, he's so jaded by the moment, he's seen better things.
Oh, mate.
Oh, LeBron going to score another bucket? Cool. I've seen things that your tiny brain couldn't even visualize, let alone athletes scoring another net. So I think that he was just that. That's part one. So he's just that jaded because he's seen so many things. Part two, he's probably got an assistant next to him taking the video for him because he's a billionaire, dude.
You know what would be great?
What?
If he was on his phone but not even looking at it. If he was just looking down, texting someone during the moment. Oh, that would be ruthless.
Talk about things we noticed. There was a replay angle from the side.
Yeah.
And there's this guy shimmying down the aisle looking for which seat number is his. And it goes in and everyone's up looking and he's like, what happened?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, man, come on, get your head in the game. Have some awareness. But he would tell all of his friends, yeah, I was there. I saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
I saw. It's just
take a video from someone that was
he would have been living off replays for sure, that guy. So I think you tweeted about this the mid-season trade period. It always gets brought up.
Every year.
We run on a cycle. We only have a few talking points.
Seriously.
So your tweet insinuating it would be okay if the money was there? Was that the gist of the tweet?
Yeah, well, essentially right now we're getting a 28% revenue share from the AFL. If you look at the NBA, which essentially the tweet was saying, like, you know, should we have open, market for trades during the year and all that stuff, like the NBA does. And I said, if that's the case, the whole reason we have a shorter share is because we don't probably have as many rights and stuff because the AFL owns us. And, if that's the case, then we'd probably want a bit more of that share because the NBA is making about 50%. 50%. They're almost making double of what we're making on a percentage share of what's coming in the door from the league standpoint. So if you're going to sit there and tell us that maybe tomorrow I might be playing for Carlton or might be playing for Essendon or whatever it is, then you best believe me, you're going to be paying for that chance to be able to do that.
So, and then the benefit would be that the club has a bit more power rather than the players. Is that right? So they can go like, hey, we're going to ship you off to...
Yeah. Well, essentially the club's not, because we have guaranteed contracts here. So you can imagine now it's like, okay, if you want to be traded at the moment, like you have to agree to it. You can't just like leave. You can't just be pushed out of the system. Yes, people do get pushed out by saying we're not going to play you and stuff, but you can't actually sign a contract with someone else until you actually agree with it.
Yeah.
So if this was to happen, let's say hypothetically in the future, like you would expect that the percentage share would go a shit ton more up.
Don't mind a bit of movement.
I don't mind more money. Because
Yeah.
at the moment, we're probably one of the least paid percentage shares in the world.
A bit more movement, a bit more transparency, a bit of give and take from the league and the players. It'll benefit everyone, I reckon.
Yeah, and we'll give them a bit more if they give us a bit more money.
Okay, so let's move into what everyone's wanting to know, the dating life stuff.
Oh, yes. The dating life. Now, Brayden, have you been busy?
Tell me you've got some action. This is just another year of me just saying how shit my dating life is. It's going to be a long bloody year.
Well, I think a lot of people can, relate to you, Brayden.
Now, have you been on a date?
I have been on a date, yes.
Wow, that's
about as far as I
that's
get
pretty
here.
good. That's a lot of information.
We will be diving deeper into my dating life in the future, Brayden, and we've got ideas around setting up some stuff.
Well, we need to get it going. Mine's sad, but at least it's ticking over. It's
You get
cranking.
more action in your dating life than I am at the moment. I'll guarantee you that.
So let me have a go at this one. This one is not a big swearer on the podcast, but this was some head fuckery right here. This was straight up. Tell me this isn't just the biggest head fuck that you've ever... All right, so I go on this date. Girl.
Yep. Where does it start from? How'd you meet her?
Hinge.
Yes. We're trying to get
the real world.
Can we get everyone to tag Hinge on this podcast? And you know what? I'll talk about my dating life if we can get Hinge as a sponsor for this podcast. How about that?
That's a selling point. Open it up to all of them.
Tag them on all socials.
We're happy for all of them. Bumble, Tinder, Hinge.
Yes, we're not gonna.
Maybe not Grindr. I don't know about Grindr.
We need cash.
Actually, we're open. So I met this girl on Hinge. Gorgeous girl. Went out to a little wine bar.
Classic.
So these are the things that happen, right? I was nailing it. I'm just, more
just vibing.
Just, feeling it, going well, conversation's going well, to the point that this girl says mid-date, oh my God, like, how are you even single?
Oof.
That's
a compliment, though, isn't it?
100%. She thinks that I'm perfect, and how am I single?
Until you, like, literally tell her all the baggage that you've checked in.
That was ticking over in my head. I'm like, this is a baggage thing. We're a little carry-on.
Yeah.
We're not much. We're showing a little vulnerability, but I'm not a psycho. I've got no things in my closet. We're good. So I did that. I've restrained as much as I could.
Yeah.
I nailed it. So
did you not return the question? Or you just
I can't say the exact same thing after she said it. Yeah, nah, can't believe you're single too.
I would say we're two peas in a pod.
No, that's a bit try-hardy. So I would have come back with like a classic joke. I would have just won over the room. I actually think I got a standing O walking out. But yeah, there was even like, there was a couple of little other things that was like, she was like, you're probably the first guy that hasn't talked about your ex.
I feel like on a date, that's like the first thing that everyone, like at our age, being older, like obviously everyone our age has most likely had an ex-girlfriend to bitch and complain about.
I think it's probably handy that there's been a massive gap in between. So it's like at this point they're all faint memories. There's like they're not fresh. They're not top of mind.
Can't rattle them off.
So I get that. That's another tick. So 2 ticks.
2 ticks. Yeah.
We wrap it up, and I said, if we wrap it up now, we've nailed this date.
Yeah.
So I walk her to her car, finish off with like a little hug, side cheek kiss, not going too like hard on it, just playing it cool.
Kiss on the first date or not?
No, just a little cheek kiss,
which I've always been weird.
I've tried the kiss on the first date thing, and it can be pretty catastrophic.
Yeah.
So played it safe. She said, as we're leaving,
yep.
Oh, that was great. Like, hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Okay, yeah.
And I said,
that's pretty common on dating.
I said, yeah, definitely. Okay,
fair enough.
Let's go. So I was walking home, realized I didn't give her my number. We're still just on Hinge.
Oh, no.
So I shot her a message saying, through Hinge.
Yeah.
That was great. What a great date. Thanks for like a lovely night. Here's my number. If you want to catch up again.
It's the next level, right? You go from the app to proper my phone number.
I haven't made any mistakes here.
You followed the dating guidelines, I feel like.
Yeah, and it went really well.
I would love to get this girl on the show.
Anyway, 3 days passed, no message.
Yeah.
So I've practically been ghosted.
And you were staunch too. You didn't message her.
No, well, I don't have a number. I just got her on here.
Oh, okay.
So if I've sent her my number, she makes the first like chat and then we're away. But so there's so much restraint goes into this because the thought patterns are, do I message with some sad message going like, hey, did you not see that you got my number? Or do I go the route of like pure just spite or like, so I kind of went that route. I held off for
spite route. That's
long as I could.
That's good.
And then I just sent the ghost emoji which I realize is
that's all right.
It's pretty petty. And
yeah, I think on Hinge, I assume there's probably like I'm assuming your inbox is just flooded with different messages, Brayden. I think maybe he just had to pump back up to the top of the list.
Yeah. So I sent the little ghost emoji, and she replied, "Oh my God, not ghosting you. Just not in like the headspace to be dating right now."
Then why are you on a dating app?
Oh my God. See, I'm telling you, the head fuckery around this whole thing. So, goes through the whole thing. You're perfect. I can't believe you're single. Like, this is great. Amazing. Hope to see you soon. Ghost for 3 days. Yeah, I'm not in the mindset to be dating right now. What the fuck? But I think there was like a little light bulb in my head.
Yeah.
And it's
maybe she just, did you pay for the lunch or the dinner or the wine?
Yeah.
But, okay. So maybe.
But I always do.
Yeah.
But I think, so there's a moment that I realized like dating's hard enough. Like it's hard. But there are some people out there that just like enjoy dating. Like people that are like, oh, I go on 2, 3 dates, 4 dates. I'm dating 2 people at the same time. We're going on our 3rd date. It's like this whole, their calendar must be stacked. I can only go like one at a time.
Yeah.
I'm a real plotter in this regard. That's why I normally do 1 or 2 and then I have a 6-month hiatus. But yeah, so at this point in time, I'm as bullish as I've ever been to just like plow ahead, just keep going. But it's been terrible.
It's been terrible. Now, you say that some girls are just like daters, right? They just like going on dates. Now, I've heard this story from a friend that they know someone that legit goes on all these dating sites, right?
Yeah.
And to save money, they just go out on a date every night for dinner and expect the man to pay.
Yeah. I saw this one story that was this woman dated someone 6 nights of the week and she would have Sunday off and she saved $30,000 for the year.
$30,000.
Yeah. She calculated that she saved $30,000. She would just organize a new date for every night, 6 nights a week. Have the Sunday off because it must be tiring screwing dudes out of all this fucking money. So she does 6 nights of the week and then Sunday's like a little night for her. But yeah, she calculated that she would have saved around $30,000 just not buying dinner for the year.
Golly, could you imagine being the person that rocks up to the same joint like over and over again for 6 nights in a row with a different person? Yes, I'd like the, I'd like the steak again. I'd like the steak again.
It's just brutal because it's like, not that I was like heartbroken. It's a bit like of a setback and you get back up on the horse and you go again. But some people, it's just, you're toying with people's emotions. You're in it for a dinner. They're trying to find a partner so they don't die alone.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more weight on one side than the other.
I'm excited to continue to cover your dating life.
Shut up. You don't get to.
I will.
Now you're saying that like you're like some dating guru. You're lonely as shit.
Well,
You haven't got no one, nothing.
I think we both need help.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. We need the audience. Maybe
100%.
This is why we started the whole podcast, just get a bit dating help from the audience.
I think it's a 2-parter. We need help. So help.
Help us. Help you.
Yeah, and help us help you. Send in your shit stories because I know that I'm not the only one with shit stories, but I'm the only one that has to sit here giving my shit stories. So I want to hear your voicemails. I want them all.
You want DMs. You want the DMs with all
details.
the terrible stories.
I want everything.
Even if you've been as petty enough as Brayden to send the ghost emoji like everyone else, you gotta tell us. You gotta tell us what petty. There's got to be worse than a ghost emoji out there for petty things they've done.
100%. And there's got to be biggest stand-up stories. There's got to be excruciating dates. I know they're out there because I'm living them every week. So jump on board. I'll tell you about the next one. I'll organize something. I'll find a gap in my busy schedule.
The gap in the busy schedule.
Not my busy dating schedule.
Do you go to the same wine bar every time you go on a date? Every time you go on a date, you tell me you go to the wine bar.
Yeah, well.
Do you actually do?
Yeah, but I don't.
Okay.
Most of the time I go towards them.
Yeah.
So whenever I get home ground, I go to the same spot, but the dates are so far apart. They wouldn't remember that I've been there a couple of times.
Just a couple of.
Well, you want to be in an environment you feel safe and comfortable to give you a real home ground advantage. If you organize it for some place that you've never been to, you don't know where the bathroom is, you don't know where like the good seats are, you don't know the menu, you're already at a massive disadvantage.
I wonder
if you go to a place like that,
if you keep going over to the same place, is it a bit of like a power move to be like, oh, I know the bartender.
Maybe I could get them in on it. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Man, you're a local. You just run this town. I think maybe that's your go-to.
They pump me up a little bit.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then you go to the bathroom and be like, oh, is this your first date with Brayden? He's such a lovely guy. He's such a nice guy. He comes in here like once every month, just have a wine on his own, just contemplate and read some beautiful books and candlelight. And he's such a good fella.
He's always reciting poetry. I've actually asked him out on like 6 or 7 dates and he keeps turning me down because he's looking for that special one.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. We're not giving up.
All right. Well, we do want some more fan interaction. That's going to be something we're going to look forward to this year. We're going to get a lot more interaction with the people who are following us along in the community because there's plenty of stories out there that I can't wait to hear.
We should say link in the Instagram bio.
Yes.
Follow the link tree, go to the Telby account, leave a voicemail. We'll play it out, unless you don't want us to play it out. But it's just good to know. It's good to hear it. It's good to feel supported. It's good to feel loved.
The voicemails are the best because the inflections of some people, you can tell they've really been scarred.
Yeah, this is stewing. Like, I've been sitting there for 2 months waiting to vent this.
Tell this story on the pod.
She said, why are you single?
He's still salty, as we can all tell.
I'm fine.
To move on, about the season starting, the season is starting not only for football, but the season is also starting for the Mason Cox Show, and it is season 2, and we're stoked absolutely to the moon. That's going to be part of the things. To be starting, it's going to be an amazing year ahead. There's going to be so much we're going to cover. There's going to be plenty of, Bennifer is probably going to make a few little things here and there. We might have a bit more of your dating life and plenty more things in the football world and sports.
If Bennifer will make the distance this year
of 2023.
If they'll last the season.
They'll last forever. Just like their tattoo, Brayden. It's all going to be happening here. We're going to double up. We're going to give you double the episodes this year. So the content's going to be strong.
The value skyrockets.
Hey, you're getting double. You're getting double what you asked for,
whatever
whether you wanted it or not.
Before, double it.
Thanks, everyone, for listening in. We're so excited for season 2. It's launching now, and we will continue to launch in the future. Check us out twice a week from here on out. All 8 platforms. Let's go.